We'll be connecting to the deepest questions of the cosmos with the most personal questions of our hearts. All of these big ideas, creation, struggle, good versus evil, brings us back to one central question. What is the most important thing to you? And how does our life today impact the next generations? This isn't a morbid question, it's a clarifying one. It forces you to confront what truly matters. It's a paradox, a question about death that teaches you about life. This brings us to the core of our discussion today. Welcome back to the Paradox Experience podcast. Today, we will embrace the beautiful contradictions of life, science, and the human spirit. We are embarking on our most ambitious journey yet. We'll be connecting to the deepest questions of the cosmos with the most personal questions of our hearts. We're talking about God and the creation of planets, the struggles of Nobel Prize winners, and the legacy we leave behind. But at the heart of today's episode is a fascinating thought experiment. What do an astrophysicist and neuroscientist have in common? It starts like a joke, but it actually makes sense. We'll be diving into the work of Dr.Bian Keating and Dr. Joe Dispenza to find out. Both of these men have been an inspiration for this episode, and I highly recommend for anyone to explore their work further. I will leave the links for both of these gentlemen down in the description. They have their own channels on YouTube as well, so you can explore as much as possible. But who are these two mysterious individuals, right? Like, why would I talk about two men who you probably have never heard about? I haven't heard about them until recently also, and after watching both of these men, I thought it would be an interesting experiment to put their two minds together and see where they combine, where they meet. So yeah, I think that's going to be the whole purpose of this episode. But there are bigger questions to ask and bigger things to ask ourselves. So keep watching and find out how each of them can change the way you feel, think, and see our entire world. Let's start with the biggest question of all, the origin of the universe. For centuries, this was a question reserved for theology and philosophy. Now we have astrophysics. We have brilliant minds like Dr. Bian Keating, who, through projects at the South Pole, are looking for a singular event that would prove the Big Bang Theory. They're literally searching for evidence of the very beginning of time and space. But here's the paradox. The more science uncovers, the more it seems to point to a kind of order or a beginning that for some echoes the concept of a creator. Keating himself, a self-described devout agnostic, acknowledges that the question of a creator is inexorably linked to the question of creation. The iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, it all came from the death of a star in a supernova explosion. We are literally made of stardust, and why? Well, find out on your own. You can go and explore Dr. Keating a little bit more, and where he explains exactly how that happened. It's a very interesting thought. And this isn't just a scientific fact. It's a profound spiritual statement. It connects us to the entire universe in a way that's both humbling and empowering. This brings us to the core of our discussion today. On one side, you have Dr.Bian Keating, the macro creator, the physicist looking for a moment the universe was born. His work with the Bicep project is trying to find a pattern in the cosmic microwave background that would only be present if the universe began with a singularity. He is focused on the external, the cosmic, the physical, right? He's looking for the first cause of everything that is. His belief in a higher power is filtered through the lens of a scientist asking, could there be an intelligence behind this incomprehensible order? He's not looking for deity, he's looking for an origin point. On the other side, you have Dr. Joe Dispenza, the micro creator. He's also looking for a first cause, but he's looking within the human body and mind. He teaches that we can create our own realities, our own health, and our own futures through the power of thoughts and intentions. His research on neuroplasticity and epigenetics shows that we aren't victims of our genes. Our thoughts and emotions literally change our biology. He talks about the quantum field, a realm of pure potentiality that we can tap into. He also spoke about working with people who are disabled and how they are able to heal themselves just by changing the way they think. They also work with veterans who have a very terrible past from after wars, and they suffer with PTSD and other illnesses, mental um, uh, mental disabilities, and they are struggling to find a cure. They're struggling to live. So for Dispenza, the higher power is not something external to us. It is a consciousness that we can connect with, a force that responds to our intentions. So what is the profound paradoxical connection between these two men? Both are searching for a fundamental principle of creation. Keating looks outward to the grand design of the cosmos, believing the universe itself holds the answer. Dispenza looks inward to the ground design of the human mind, believing the answers reside in our consciousness. Keating's work hints at a cosmic design, a higher power that set the universe in motion, while Dispenza's work shows that there is a power within each of us to heal, to change, and to manifest our desires. They're two sides of the same coin, one exploring the physical laws of the universe and the other exploring the metaphysical laws of consciousness. They both seek to understand the very nature of reality itself, and in their own ways, they are both proving that there is more to existence than meets the eye. They are bridging the gap between science and spirituality, but in a way that's not anti-science. Instead, they are pushing the boundaries of what science can measure, whether it's the beginning of the universe or the healing power of the mind. If I could humbly ask for anything right now, it would be to ask all of you, dear viewers, to subscribe to the channel, like and comment. Without you, what I'm doing won't make much difference. And my promise is to make every episode bigger and better. It's to make sure you get the best possible information, reviews, interesting information, and knowledge you couldn't possibly get anywhere else. So please click that subscribe button and leave a like. Thank you, and back to the episode. When we think of great minds, we often put them on a pedestal. We think of Nobel Prize winners, from Newton to Einstein to Kip Thorne. But behind the genius is a very human struggle, imposter syndrome. It's the feeling that no matter how much you know, you're a fraud. This isn't a modern invention. Think of Jesus, a spiritual leader with an immense burden who at times felt doubt, just like each of us sometimes, right? Isaac Newton, a giant of science, saw his entire life's work as a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself in the now and then finding a smoother pebble. He felt his discoveries were trivial compared to the vast ocean of truth. Even Dr. Kip Thorne, a modern day Nobel winner, has spoken about the immense pressure and self-doubt. It is a fundamental paradox of the human condition. Those who have the most profound impact often feel the least worthy of it. It feels right. It feels like it makes sense. This idea of imposter syndrome naturally leads to a deeper, more profound struggle, and some people call it wrestling with God. The biblical story of Jacob wrestling with an angel or with God himself is a powerful metaphor for our own struggles with faith, purpose, and the unknown. In a singular world, this wrestling might be with our own inner demons or with the chaotic nature of existence. This struggle is at the core of the timeless battle of good versus evil. In the 21st century, this battle is more complex than ever. It's not just a philosophical concept, it's a daily reality. Think about the ethical dilemmas posed by artificial intelligence. Who is responsible for the choices of AI? What is a good algorithm? It can connect us globally and be a force for good, but it can also be a source of misinformation, division, and harm. And for both of these, for AI and for social media, I have already made 2 separate episodes. So for anyone who is actually interested in both of these, AI and social media, the goods and the bads, I highly recommend for you to go and watch my episodes on these 2 subjects. I'm going to leave the tabs there to click onto them somewhere here. So go ahead and watch them if you want. Fight between good and evil is no longer a clear-cut battle. It's an internal struggle for each of us to choose what we create, what we share, and how we engage with the world. All of these big ideas, creation, struggle, good versus evil, brings us back to one central question. What is the most important thing to you? And how does our life today impact the next generations? This is the paradox of legacy. We are not just a collection of our own choices. We are a product of those who came before us. And our actions today will shape the world for those who come after. From the values we teach our children to the environmental choices we make, every action leaves a ripple. It's a heavy thought, but it's also a deeply motivating one. It gives our choices meaning. So let's end on the most powerful question of all. It's a question that strips away all the noise, all the distractions, all the material possessions, and it will deeply impact you in some way, I'm sure. So think about it and let me know in the comments. If you were to die in 10 minutes, who would you call? This isn't a morbid question. It's a clarifying one. It forces you to confront what truly matters. It's a paradox, a question about death that teaches you about life. Who would you want to share your last moments with? Who would you call to forgive, or to thank, or to simply say, I love you? That person or those people are what matter most. We began by looking at the paradoxes of the universe and ended by looking at the paradoxes of our own lives. The biggest discoveries are not always out in the cosmos. Sometimes they are in the quiet moments of reflection, in the people we love, and in the choices we make. In the end, we can only be better to ourselves, to others, than we were yesterday. To strive for good in these times filled with criticism, hate, and doubt. Be a better version of yourself. This is where we reach the end of this episode. And I hope I was able to spark your curiosity for reaching out to the stars, but also to look within and see that even though we are not perfect, we constantly learn, we ask questions, and strive to be better for ourselves and for the people we love. Thank you for joining me on the Paradox Experience podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. I'll be back soon with another exploration of life's beautiful contradictions. Until then, keep asking the big questions and see you soon.